Hi everyone and welcome to another recipe video. And today you're getting a cheeky 2-for-1 recipe because I'm going to show you both how to make my baked matcha donuts and how to make matcha white chocolate. Now I use a silicone mould for this, which means I didn't have to grease it with any oil or butter, so if you're using a metal mould, do remember to grease it with oil or butter. If not, then just get started straight away. Here's what mine looks like. Okay, let's get started then. We're going to make the donuts first. Preheat your oven to 180 degrees C, and first we're going to mix the liquids together. So grab 1 beaten egg, 100 milliliters of milk, and don't mind me here, I just decided I wanted it the other way, and 25 grams of melted unsalted butter. Just give that all a good stir together. Now that's the wet ingredients done, let's do the dry. Grab 115 grams of self-raising flour, add 50 grams of caster sugar, a good pinch of salt, and sift in 2 teaspoons of matcha. I really hope you like matcha, because there's going to be a lot more matcha in this recipe, so brace yourselves. Just give it all a little bit of a stir and then gradually stir in your liquid ingredients. I love this part, I don't know why, I just find it so zen and calming to mix it all into a smooth batter. I love watching it transform as well. You get the opportunity to watch it in fast motion. But I love doing it and watching it slowly come together. And that's pretty much it for the donut batter. Easy, right? Now for sake of ease, I just put the batter in a piping bag, which makes it really easy to fill the molds, see? I fill them about halfway full. This gives me about 8 donuts, so I'm going to bake these up, and then I'm going to take it out of the oven, let them cool, pop them out of the mould, and then bake up the last 2. These only need 15 minutes in the oven, but keep an eye out a little bit before in case they get a bit too brown. And like magic, that's our donuts baked. Aren't they already so cute? Right, now possibly the most complex part is tempering the chocolate to make the matcha chocolate. Prepare yourself a little water bath, that's a little pan of water with a bowl on top, and grab about 100 grams of white chocolate. If you're using a bar, chop it up, but I like these buttons because you don't have to chop them. Now I'm adding about 2/3 into the bowl and keeping the rest for later, you'll see why. We're going to melt this 2/3 first. Add 2 teaspoonfuls of matcha, and I always make sure I sift matcha because it can get quite lumpy. Now just let it melt over a low heat and keep stirring until everything is smooth. Right, now we have to temper the chocolate, which basically means, long story short, that we need the chocolate to set solidly like it did before. At the moment we've kind of destroyed all the crystals and structures by melting it, so we need to reintroduce those crystals by reintroducing some chocolate that already has the crystal structure, i.e. unmelted chocolate. And by doing this we're also bringing down the temperature of the white chocolate, the melted chocolate, into a temperable temperature. That probably didn't make much sense. Anyway, we've got to the point now where it's starting to melt more and more slowly, so I start to add 1 button at a time until it gets really thick like this. This is tempered chocolate, but it's a bit too thick to work with, so I've put over the heat a little bit more, just for a few seconds to loosen up. You'll know that it's tempered because no more buttons will melt in it. Okay, so now that's more a workable consistency, I'm going to fill my moulds, and you can see I have some really cute little mini bar moulds, which I'm going to dust with a little bit of edible gold luster dust. And now I'm going to spoon and spread the chocolate into the moulds. Occasionally give them a quick tap on the counter to get rid of any air bubbles down there. Give it a final scrape to flatten the surface and pop in the fridge to set. I had some leftover chocolate, so I filled some more moulds, which we'll see later. All done, let's see how they look. Gorgeous. And finally we're going to make the icing glaze, so grab 150 grams of icing sugar and we're going to sift in 2 teaspoonfuls of matcha. As you've seen, there is a lot of matcha in this recipe, so definitely one for green tea fans. If not, maybe steer clear? But you never know, this might be your gateway drug to matcha. And now you need about 2 tablespoonfuls of milk. Be careful though, icing sugar is really tricky. You can start off with really thick icing and then all of a sudden, bam, it's like water. So add it bit by bit. If you need a bit more, add a bit more, but you can't take it back. Finally, the most fun part, we're going to decorate our donuts. Simply take a donut, dip it right in, give it a bit of a swirl, and then you want to make it face the right way up and give it a tap so that all the excess icing runs off. Give some of the bubbles a bit of a poke as well. Feel free to take your time to have a nice even coating on there, and then just pop it back on the rack. And now before you do the rest of the other donuts, you want to immediately decorate it. So pop on a little chocolate, and I also have a couple of little flower icing decoration things too. Cute! Feel free to get creative though, you can use any decorations you like as long as you can eat them. And look at these, aren't they a sight for sore eyes? So beautiful. Thanks again for watching guys, remember you can join me on Instagram, I'm tashcakes.tastes, and you can find the full recipe for this on my blog tashcakes.com. See you next Wednesday for the next video. In the meantime, stay safe, be nice, and have a good week.